G'day and welcome to Evention. One of the most commonly asked questions to us over the past 2 years has been how to control your nerves at a horse show. So today we're going to go through 5 different ways that you can help control your nerves at your next event.
Show stress solution number 1, preparation. Being prepared for your competition is the best way to dial down stress and anxiety. So here are a couple of tips. We'll start with the dressage. Make sure you know your test very well, from front to back. You don't want to be worrying about if you know where you're going or your movements while you're braiding your horse. You want to make sure you have everything ready to go when you're trotting down the center line. Next tip is coursework. In the weeks leading up to the show, make sure that you're doing lots of courses. And I'm not talking just 5-jump simple courses that you know you can do well. I'm talking about long courses that you're actually going to see at the event. Also, make sure that you're jumping the appropriate height. You don't want to be walking the course and having a meltdown because the jumps look bigger than what you've been jumping at home. The final tip for preparation applies to cross country. As eventers, we tend to focus so much on the dressage and the show jumping and wing the cross country because it's the most fun. But we need to make sure that our horses and ourselves feel extra confident when we're going out of the box. So make sure that you're doing some cross country schooling in the lead up to the event. You don't want to get caught out at the ditch or the water because you thought your horse was confident and he isn't. Show stress solution number 2 is sleep. Sleep is one of those things that everyone tends to forget about. One thing that always happens at the horse shows is you see your friends, you go out to dinner, and you end up staying out too late. So what you need to do is be the first one to get in bed. It's really important to go to sleep at a reasonable hour when you're competing. Another thing is don't be up on your phone all night texting or looking at Facebook. You need to give your body ample time to rest and recover.
Show stress solution number 2, show organization. What we're talking about is basically having your equipment and your schedule ready well ahead of time. Feeling like you're in a hurry or in a bind because you've only just now discovered that you don't have any black rubber bands right before the dressage, for example, is one of the biggest causes of stress at the show. I should know because it's been the story of my life. Simply by taking a look in your tack trunks and organizing your trailer a couple of days beforehand can really help minimize the chance of you getting stuck. Also, it might be a good idea to know exactly where you're going to the show, especially if you haven't been before. Unfortunately, with horse people, they're kind of notorious for saying, yeah, it takes 2 hours. And then when it takes you 3.5 hours and you ask them, they say, oh, well, you shouldn't have gone that way. So make sure you know exactly where you're going. Once you get your ride times too, it might be a good idea to make a schedule for your entire weekend. Allow time for feeding, riding, grazing, hand walking, cleaning your stalls, travel to and from the show, so that you can have a good structure to your weekend and hopefully be a little bit more organized. Okay, let's head to a Schramm shout out. Our Schramm shout outs are supported by Riding Warehouse, and they generously offer a $100 gift certificate to every charity that we highlight. Thank you, Riding Warehouse. Today's shout out goes to Last Chance Corral, located in South Athens, Ohio, and they work to alleviate the suffering and senseless slaughter of domestic equines and provide an environment for rehabilitation and adoption. So check them out here at lastchancecorral.org. Congratulations, guys. You've won a $100 gift certificate from Riding Warehouse. Back to the action. Welcome back, guys. Show stress solution number 4, diet and exercise. So what they say about junk in, junk out is absolutely true, and horse sports are no exception. You wouldn't feed your horse cheap, crappy food just because it's convenient, so don't do it to yourself. One of the hardest things about traveling and going to horse shows is it's very difficult not to eat out. If you do have to go out for dinner or breakfast, try and avoid the foods that are going to make you feel like you ingested a shot put, and go for some light options like maybe fruit, salad, or even yogurt for breakfast. Now, I like chowing down on a couple quesadillas the night before cross country just as much as the next bloke. But invariably in the warm-up the next day, I'm always regretting that spicy salsa. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd rather be more concerned about getting around the course rather than getting to a porta potty. It's just one less thing that you need for your upset stress belly. So think wisely about what you eat the night before the show. The next big one is water. Being outside all day, it's super easy to get dehydrated and forget to keep your fluids up. So remember to pound those waters. After an 8-year comprehensive study, I personally have come to the conclusion that riding with a hangover sucks. Now, for those of you that are old enough, it might be a good idea to lay off the booze in the lead up and over the course of an event. Just a suggestion. I'm a little bit of an anxious person by nature, and I can personally vouch for quitting caffeine and how it's helped my life for the better. Now, I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not. In fact, the first week pretty much sucks. But I can honestly say that it's definitely helped me in my anxiety and stress levels, and it's nice to not be dependent on something first thing in the morning. Exercising 3 to 5 times a week has been clinically proven to be about as effective as taking antidepressants. It's also a great way to deal with stress. If you're somebody that gets stressed out at the show, maybe it might be time to start incorporating some exercise into your show routine. Jogging around your cross-country course might be a great starting point. Experiment. The last show stress solution is warm-up or anxiety management. So a little bit of fear in the warm-up can be a good thing, but if it paralyzes you, it's going to hinder your performance. I'm nervous. A lot of times the dressage and show jumping warm-up has been likened to a pressure cooker, and I couldn't agree more. Some ways that you can deal with this. The first one is positive self-talk. So rather than going around the warm-up saying to yourself, I hope he doesn't blow up, I hope he doesn't mess up this test, try and convert that into something positive. Like, my horse and I are prepared for this show. If we ride the way we know, he's going to be just fine. The next thing is visualization. A lot of athletes use this. If you picture the way you want to ride in your mind's eye, the chances are your body hopefully will follow suit. Last but not least is having a supporter or a friend close by to help talk you off the ledge if you get yourself really wound up. Now, this could be a family member, a trainer, or just a friend, but sometimes having a familiar face in the moment can really help. All right, guys, that just about wraps up today's episode. We hope you got some tips on how to handle your anxiety and nervousness at the horse show. Join us next tutorial when we actually look at horse nervousness at the horse show. But until then, we'll see you next time.